Hi everyone, welcome back to the Stitches and Scribbles channel. My name is Erin and I've got some crafty things to show you today. I was a little worried when I started setting things out to film this podcast. I was like, wow, I haven't really worked on a lot of projects since the last time I filmed, but I realized a couple things as to why it's feeling that way. First of all, I usually film this podcast episode, so the crafty one, the same day I do the what I read last month episode. So they're usually both filmed at the very beginning of the month, but last month I actually waited to film my crafty episode, so it's really only been like 2 to 3 weeks instead of like 4 to 5 weeks since the last time I updated you on my craft stuff. So there's that. I also realized that a lot of the like craft things I have been working on have been bigger projects or like things that you won't see on YouTube for a while. So it's kind of a weird mix of stuff today, but I do actually have a craft supply haul to show you too. I ended up going to both Joann and Hobby Lobby this month. Hobby Lobby, I had something very specific in mind when I went, which I'll show you in a minute. And Joann, I went kind of just to like, I think it was killing time between events or something, and I realized I was going to be in the general area, so I just decided to stop in. So I've got both of those to show you. I've also kind of been thinking about like my yarn purchasing as a whole this year, and I realized I have way slowed down on my yarn purchasing, which is really good. And when I do purchase yarns, I tend to be more project focused now instead of just like, oh, I like those colors, I'm gonna grab it, which I think is a really good improvement. I have tried being on some version of like a yarn buying ban a couple times since I started here on YouTube, and I think a general yarn ban doesn't work for me because then I'm tempted every time I go to buy yarn. But now that like I don't really think about it as much, it like I've had more times this year where I've said like, oh, I do need to go get yarn for a specific project, or I've been like excited about yarn like queuing up in my stash that I have specific things in mind for what I want to do with it. So that's been kind of nice, but I did buy yarn this time. So for the first time in a while, you will actually get a yarn haul from me. Hobby Lobby is the first bag of stuff I have, and that's the one where I specifically had some yarn I wanted to buy. But I got some other things while I was there too, kind of just putzing around. The first stop I made was kind of in the seasonal decor, which my mom and I always stop in that section anyway, and we did go together for this trip. So the first thing I got were these two little pedestals. They were just labeled as fall tableware, but they're plain white. I got them just to have some more options for when I'm setting my dining room table. I also thought these would be very cute with like little pumpkins on top of them for fall, which it does feel weird to be thinking about fall decorations in July, but that is where my brain is at. And then the other fall decor item I got was this little gnome guy. He's on a garden stake, so you can stick him in the dirt, or looks like you could hang it as well, although the stake does not come off, so I'm not sure how that would look. But I have a couple of little gnomes now for my front yard. We have like a pot of flowers that's right outside of our front door, so I've been sticking little like seasonal gnomes in there. So I'm kind of hoping we get some more, but I thought this was a good like summer into fall gnome. Like this might be my like end of July to September gnome. Right now I have a 4th of July one out there, and there's another one somewhere. I think the other one I have is also just red and blue, but it's not specifically a 4th of July one. It's more spring looking, but it happens to be red and blue. The next thing I picked up at Hobby Lobby was this little wood baby puzzle that you're meant to paint. I just thought that this would be a neat baby gift, so I decided to just add it to my stash of things I keep on hand for when my friends have children. But I also thought that this would be a fun painting project to like paint little things on all the shapes, because they tell you what color to paint it, but I thought that I could add more than just the color, like for the red rectangle if I made it into like a fire truck or something like that. So I'm excited to paint this. I will have to do some research on what paint I can use for a baby toy because I obviously want it to be baby safe. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Next thing I picked up, because in addition to their fall stuff, Hobby Lobby also had Christmas stuff out already. So I picked up an embroidery kit, just because I really liked the nativity image on this. I also liked that it was in blues. I feel like you don't see that very often where the whole thing is blue. I feel like nativity scenes in general are a lot of browns, or you have Mary in blue and Joseph in another color. But I just really liked the sweet, simple design, and I'm trying to do some more videos coming up, and you probably won't see any of these until 2025. But I'm trying to do more videos that I can film in one day so that I can have a bunch of videos kind of like queued up for months where I'm busier with my full-time job that I will now have in the fall. So embroidery was one of the things I wanted to do. I'm planning this whole series called like I Spent a Day and then doing whatever the craft title is. So I wanted to do one of I Spent a Day doing embroidery. So I figured I could get one that was holiday themed and schedule it to come out during Advent or the Christmas season, so that it would feel relevant even if I'm filming it like months in advance. So that was kind of the reason I picked that one up. I have other embroidery kits I probably could have used for the same purpose, but I kind of liked having a holiday themed one in there. Up next is what I actually went to Hobby Lobby for, which was a bunch of yarn. It seems like every couple of months or so there's some crochet or knit article of clothing that hits the internet and everybody has to go out and make it. And Taylor Swift in her crochet dress leaving one of her performances was no exception to this. So I went ahead and purchased yarn in the colors of her crochet dress that she wore. I got 3 or 4, I think just 3 of each color. My brown is a little bit lighter than the one on her dress was, but I thought the other one was too dark, so I went with these. And instead of making the actual dress version, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can do a Google search for Taylor Swift crochet dress and it'll come up. Instead of doing the granny stripe dress like she wore, I'm going to take the color pattern of the dress and turn it into a hexagon cardigan. So that will actually be an upcoming vlog that I am going to film starting today after I finish this video. So that's why I have that out and kind of ready to go. I'm really excited to make another hexagon cardigan. I do really enjoy making those, and I haven't worked on one in a while, I think. Yeah, I have like an unfinished one that's at the bottom of my like abandoned whips bucket, but I'm excited to get back into another one. Then I also went to Joann and purchased some things. So first off, I decided I needed kind of a summery candle. This one's called Rainy Days, but the scent is citrus, herbal, citron, and musk. So it's kind of just like a fresh citrusy scent. I, as you've probably seen in my videos, like to light candles while I'm working just to kind of set the mood. And then I also picked up some sock yarn. My Joann is very inconsistent about what colors sock yarn they carry, but they usually always have a couple different shades of the Patons Kroy sock yarn. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the Patons Kroy yarn. So I picked up 2 colorways this time. This is the Midnight Orchid colorway, so it's striped with cream, teal, like a pale olive green, lavender, a fuchsia, and like an eggplant purple. These were kind of just for fun. I just liked that colorway. But then my other colorway that I picked up is this one. These are the same color. I know they look very different based on how they're skeined up. But this one is called Celestial Colors, and it's mostly purple with some occasional like turquoise and like dusty blue kind of marled in. These are going to be for a pair of Taylor Swift socks. I feel like it's pretty obvious which album it's for. But I originally had a different yarn planned for that pair of socks, and I was really glad to find this because I think this works so much better than what I originally had in mind. So even though I did not go into Joann with the intent of getting Taylor Swift sock yarn, I was glad that I kind of stumbled across that. The last like craft supply haul I have to show you, similar to the embroidery kit where I'm planning videos of spending a day just trying a bunch of different crafts, one of the ones kind of on my radar to try was diamond painting. And diamond painting to me looks very relaxing in the same way that like cross stitch would be, of it's just like filling in the pattern one color at a time. However, whenever I have seen diamond painting kits in person at a store, they've always been very expensive. So I went to Amazon to purchase a kit. Came in this little tiny bag with all the colors, and you can see the canvas back here. I'm not going to unwrap it to show you because I'm kind of afraid of the pieces going everywhere. But it is, oh, I think you can see it maybe up in this little corner. It's like a stained glass image of books and flowers. Are you gonna focus, camera? Maybe it won't focus. Maybe that's too tiny for my camera. But I picked this design so that I could maybe hang it at work as like kind of a fun little display since it's a stack of books. Oh my gosh, my nose is itchy. I feel like, I don't think I have seasonal allergies, but occasionally sometimes like it just hits me that my nose feels really weird. Maybe it's the residual cold that I had from last week, but who knows. So yeah, my nose is very, very itchy on camera. That's kind of weird. Maybe it's because I just had wool yarn kind of in my face. That's not good. I really like wool, so that would be sad if I was allergic to it. I think I'd know by now if I was allergic to wool yarn. Anyway, let's talk about some finished objects. So I am low on the finished objects again this month, and you actually aren't even going to see the tutorials for these for quite some time. But I finished my last 2 washcloths in my washcloth series. So I added a border to this one, which was our knit hurdle stitch washcloth, and I did an applied I-cord border. So that tutorial will come out, I believe, in October. So that'll be a tutorial coming out. And then on my crochet linen stitch one, I did this picot edging, and that one should be coming out in, I think, November. I'm gonna look at my, yeah, that one will come out sometime in November. So 2 more tutorials to look forward to, and that means that my set of washcloths is complete, so I can give them to the person who ordered them originally. I got 8 tutorials out of 1 order, which is pretty impressive. So those are my only finished object for the month because I've been working on a lot of bigger projects. So the first one, which you've seen both of these before, but this is the more like ongoing one, is my striped raglan sweater. I guess I should hold it up the right way. I am doing this with 2 different Lion Brand Mandala cakes. They are the same color, but they started in different places, which is why our striping pattern is moving like this. So it started with the orange and blue, and then that transitioned into yellow and green, or yellow and purple, and now at the very bottom I'm starting to get a little bit of mint green with my purple, and the purple will fade to pink pretty soon. This one's not that exciting. I've been talking about it for a couple months. I just need to keep plugging along on the body, which has no increases, no decreases. Like, it's just striping back and forth between the 2 cakes. That one I have worked on a little bit this month, but not super consistently. So that's why I think last time I was about to start the green, I did not make a lot of progress on that. But I also, even though like I've had a lot of time this month to work on crafts, because I've been working on things that you won't see for a while, it seems like I haven't done anything. Like, I already did I spent a day doing this craft video. It was actually friendship bracelets, but the friendship bracelets have gone to their permanent homes elsewhere in my house. And my like other projects that I've been like sitting and working on have all been like big giant projects. Speaking of big giant projects, we're gonna take the hook out so I don't lose it. My other project I've been working on the most consistently is my 6-day star blanket. So it is quite large now. I'm on the last skein of yarn that I'm planning on using. I think last time I showed you I was working on this dark green stripe, so I've gone through all of these to the end. And this was purely a project meant to use up yarn. So this is the skein I'm working on, one of the like giant size acrylic skeins. I'm probably like done with 2/3 of it on this green stripe that I'm working on right now, so that last stripe will be a wider green stripe, which is kind of what I wanted. But I loved this pattern, so I already have plans to do some more star blankets because I liked it so much. One of them I think is going to be my velvet blanket that I've worked on and off on, I think for like a year and a half at this point. But I have like green velvet yarn that I've wanted in a blanket forever, but every time I work on it I decide I don't like the stitch I was using, so I started over. I think that one might turn into a star blanket. And then I also have some like gray and cream marled wool that somebody gave me that I think would match our couch in our living room really well. So I think that one will also become a star blanket because I love how the star blankets look on the backs of couches when I see them in pictures and stuff. So I might just have to make a couple more of those, and that would put a pretty significant dent in my yarn stash, which would be amazing. But that's really all I have to show you this week. I have a couple socks that I've worked on here and there, but none of them are done and none of them are that exciting to show you, especially since I haven't made very much progress on those. And yeah, that's kind of all I got for this month. So I'm enjoying having more crafting time, but I think because I'm using so much of it for videos, it feels like my personal projects are kind of taking a back seat. I say that like they're not the same thing, but whatever. Upcoming for the next couple crafty videos, so you would have just seen my Fearless socks on my channel. You're gonna get a vlog of the Taylor Swift cardigan that I'm working on, and in addition to having some more like Swiftie things coming next month, I'm also gonna do my first Renaissance Fair vlog because I'm going at the end of July, so I'm really excited to show you that process of building not an entirely new costume, kind of just building with pieces I already have, and adding a fun colorful twist to that costume. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing all my crafty updates. I certainly enjoyed sharing them with you. If you want to follow me here on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you can be notified of all my crafty content right here. I also post things about what I'm reading. And if you'd like to follow me on other social media sites, that information will be in the description box below. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.